A robot vacuum that can also mop? Let's check this out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm like you. I don't like doing chores. I like having robots do my chores. So I've gone through a lot of robot vacuum cleaners, and generally speaking, they do a pretty good job. There seem to be two categories of vacuums. There's ones that just go randomly all over the place, and you sort of keep your fingers crossed and hope they'll eventually cover all of your surface area. Or there are robots that actually do nice methodical coverage where they go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then they move to the next room and then they go back and forth, and they have a much better coverage strategy. That's what this is. This is the Roborock S7 robotic vacuum cleaner, and it's actually a cherry. It's a really nice unit because not only does it do a great and consistent job with vacuuming, but it can mop too. How awesome is that? It can auto-detect carpet versus hardwood or tile floors. Obviously you'd need that. And it uses Lidar, that's what this little thing sticking up is. So it builds a model of your floor and your whole, whatever level you're at, however many rooms you have. And then it figures out as it transitions whether it's on carpet or whether it's on a hardwood floor. So if we look at the bottom, you can see some of the secret here. So this is the mopping surface, and they recommend that in addition to putting water in the reservoir, and here's a quick close-up of the reservoir, but I'll show you how that all fits. You also pre-wet this just to sort of get it started, and I found that makes a big difference. So here's the vacuuming portion, right? And notice there's no hair, there's no fur, there's nothing tangled up in this because it's designed to be tangle-free, and it works remarkably well. I think once in a couple of months have I had to actually take it out and pull out a piece of string that got caught up, but otherwise it doesn't get tangled. It's fantastic. And then it uses the mop as needed. So where's all this happening? Well, a lot of the smarts are in here. So here's the bin, and basically you can see it's a pretty decent capacity. You open it up and you can empty it, and there is a removable filter, and you can actually take it apart, rinse this whole thing out. It's super easy. And then if you want to do the mopping part, then there is the water reservoir for the mop. Now, it doesn't hold a lot of water, so my experience is I have about 50% of my main floor is hardwood or tile, and I would say I fill this up every other time I use this. So it definitely uses water. Now, you don't want me to talk about it, you want to see it in action. So let's cut to some action footage. First off, here it is just leaving the dock, and you can see it actually tries to hug the wall and then figure out the perimeter of the space, and then it fills in with its vacuum. Now, if we go into my kitchen, which is a tile floor, you can see it's doing a similar strategy, but this time it's actually engaging the mop mechanism. And that's what they call a vibrarized mopping unit that goes up to 3,000 cycles a minute. Now, all of this is controlled with the app. So there's a Roborock app on my phone, and that app gives you things. Let me go ahead and just turn on my screen recorder, though I'm obviously not going to actually run my vacuum on this surface. It would need to be on the floor, but it basically gives you a map of what's going on in your house, and then you can see I stopped it after just a small amount of work, but if I zoom in, look how it just went back and forth to get that one area vacuumed nice and clean. And actually, no, I think that's my kitchen. So that was actually mopping, which is denoted by the very light blue behind the line. So you'll notice that all the way back here at my starting point, that it actually just has those lines. But then this area on the top left is actually another tile floor. So it should have tried to do some mopping, and then it sort of winds around, ends up in my kitchen. And here's the thing, is that it does an incredible job. So let me just cut to another photo, and this is actually after it's finished cleaning up my floor. And you can see it just got every single square foot either mopping or vacuuming. Now, going back to the recording, you can actually choose what vacuum power you want. You can see there are 4 levels of vacuum, and there are 3 scrub intensities. I can turn off the mop if I just want to use it as a vacuum, and that's fine. So both of those are options. And let's see, what else can I show you here? So there are a ton of preferences and settings, and all of that is super helpful. My daughter is desperately trying to communicate with me as we do this, so she'll just have to wait. But you can see there's carpet settings, there are robot settings. I mean, there's not much not to be in love with this device, because it really does what you want, which is that you plug it in, you turn it on, you empty things, you fill things, you get that mop surface wet in advance if you want to do mopping, and then you push a button and walk away. And I will say that it takes a couple of hours to get my main floor, and that's about maybe 900 to 1,000 square feet. That's how vigorously and carefully it goes back and forth. And I can assure you that if I vacuumed that space, I would not spend that much time. And my daughter's chore is mopping, so she loves this robot. Does it do as good a job as she does? Well, is she going to be watching this video afterwards? Because it's not bad. It actually does a pretty decent job. However, you can't put soap in the dispenser. So it's really a wet mop as opposed to a cleaning mop. So I would say that this works in conjunction with you doing a proper mopping, maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how clean or dirty your area is. My kitchen gets pretty dirty, so we do a soap mop relatively frequently. Okay, now it has 3 buttons on the top. There is a child lock. Obviously, it has the Lidar sensor system. The battery is 5,200 milliamp hours, so it can run for up to 3 hours of non-stop cleaning. And as you would hope, when it knows that it's running low on battery, it says, I gotta go back to the base station. So here's the base. It's just a real basic rudimentary one. And one of the ways that I assess robot vacuum cleaners is how well can they find their home. And here's a little cut of this going straight to its home base and immediately just getting on that ramp and charging. And I have had other vacuums that just wander around and sometimes just give up. It's like, I don't even know where my home base is, so you're going to have to put me there. This does not do that. This knows exactly where it is, and it just makes a beeline back for it when you're ready, which is great. Now, suction-wise, it has a 2,500 pascals of suction, which is really good for a robot vacuum cleaner. If you have a hand vac like a Dyson or a Miley or something, it's going to be more powerful than that. But you're doing the work. It's not doing the work like this one, right? So, no tangle main brush. I showed you that. I'll show you that again by flipping this upside down. And all of these are designed for like customer service. So that's their no tangle brush. It's really simple. You can see it's picked up a little bit of hair that I should just remove. That's easy enough. And that's honestly about the extent of the maintenance you'll find. I would say probably once a month or so, you want to flip it upside down and clean all the bits of hair and dust. I have a particularly dusty environment because I have 3 cats and an on and off dog who sometimes is with my other daughter and other times is here, and he sheds like a maniac. So, carpet sensor, I already mentioned that, the Roborock mopping unit, and the app, which has multi-level mapping, so you can pick it up, put it on another floor, and push go, and it'll understand what you're doing. And it does automatic room recognition. You can set up areas where you say this is a no-go zone. You know, it's the baby's room. Don't go in there because we always have stuff on the floor. So you can just set those things up. You don't have to use those stupid little magnetic strips or anything, because it's actually a way lot smarter than that. So, not much else to talk about. As is probably pretty obvious, I'm a big fan. This is a really great unit. This is the best vacuum I've had to date. And I've tested a lot of vacuums in this house. Now, let me give you some dimensions. Size-wise, it's 13.9 inches by 3.7 inches, which is 353 millimeters by 96 millimeters. And it's fairly heavy. It weighs 10.3 pounds. There's a lot going on in here. and obviously a lot of mechanical pieces and parts and sensors and everything. That's 4.7 kilograms if you need to know that. So what about the price? Well, before I get to the price, I invite you to give me some feedback. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and find it helpful. Leave a comment if there's something else you wish I would have shown but I didn't. And of course, I'm always appreciative if you can subscribe to my channel. It's just a click or a tap on that little red subscribe button and boom, we're connected. How easy is that, right? Cool. Now, this is the Roborock S7 robotic vacuum cleaner. It comes in black or white, and it is $649.99 at Amazon.com. And I would say that if you are sick of mopping and sick of vacuuming, and you want to have a really good robot that just does the work for you, this is your choice. And the company says that coming very soon, they're going to actually have an upgrade to this that will automatically empty the bin, and so you'll have a big canister, and that'll be something you'll have to clean much less frequently. So I'm pretty excited for that, but even having to update and change and empty that bin, even every single time, I would so rather do that than actually do the vacuuming. So bring it on, robots. If you're all going to be as good as this one, then I am ready to give you my house, and I'll just live in your little robot house. And with that, I got to put it back on the floor because it's not quite done, and that's how it rolls, right? So I'll hope to catch you in my next video.